Hey, wait, what are you doing? That is a non-stick pan, you dumb hoe.
What do you mean my card's been declined? Try it again. Buy me Prada. Balenciaga.
Obviously, don't go and do that, please.
You do whatever you like.
We can't condone anything of the sort.
No, we can't. Live! Live!
What do you mean my card's been declined? Try it again. Buy me Prada. Balenciaga.
Do you mind if I play devil's advocate here for a sec? Not at all. Do you mind if I play The Sims over there for 5 hours? I mean,
Oh, you think you're so fucking slick, huh? You think you're so fucking cool. Well, guess what, bitch? Sending your ass to the lime dimension, motherfucker. Get limed.
Computer, how do I put the Joker in the Phantom Zone? Quickest route, no freeways. Computer, do you hear me?
All those years of Tetris finally paid off. My whole life was in that truck.
I think one of the worst feelings is when you're at work
I'll be in the gym doing some unnecessary shit and the homie will come up. He'll be like, hey man, who hurt you, bro? Trying to hype me up. Man, I'm not in this because I got my heart broken. I want to fist fight the federal government.
You've heard of blue hair and pronouns, now get ready for green hair and no nouns. Fuck people, places, and things. I will fist fight the English language outside of a Denny's parking lot at midnight for exactly one corn chip.
I left chicken out to defrost last night on the counter, and I think I left it out too long.
My lord, the Danes have invaded. Lord Bartholomew is on the front line. They've stormed the castle. Whatever shall we do?
I just had to grab my phone because my mother just spoke possibly the funniest sentence that has ever been said. She asked my dad, did you hear Elon Musk had another baby with Grimace?
Estoy in Miami. Did you know that in 2013, Pitbull performed a concert in Israel, and because he has a work visa on his passport, he's banned from the country of Iran, making him technically no longer Mr. Worldwide. Dale.
Well, no, she totally is like that, but I can't judge. And yet somehow, I'm still judging. Because I'm brave, and I'm strong, and I'm not a quitter. I won't let my own hypocrisy stop me from being who I truly am on the inside, which is a gossipy, nosy little harlot with a superiority complex.
Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. Ohayou gozaimasu. おはようございます。うっす。
How Club Penguin ruined the housing market, parentheses, why your family had to move in 2008. The rise and fall of Girls Go games, the late stage repercussions of 9/11. We're all going to die, and Olivia Rodrigo isn't helping. Hailey Bieber versus Selena Gomez, the Cold War and its consequences. Why your family couldn't afford to go to Disneyland over spring break, but Alicia M's family could every year. Freddie Fazbear, Karl Marx. Who is the true father of modern socialism?
I've been trying for the last 40 minutes to say these words, but that's sounding like the meanest Australian accent, and I can't. Oh, no. Oh, no. Cleo. Oh, no. Oh, no. Cleo. The contents. Oh, no. Cleo. The content. Oh, no. Oh, no. Cleo. The condensation. Oh, Nora. Fuck.
I'm a solid 8 in Wisconsin and probably a teacher. You like me because of your underlying mommy issues.
We're that couple who's looking for a third. Swipe right if you're under 30 and brown. I'm 50, recently divorced, and I got a boat. If you're 23 and you don't mind a little bit of experience.
Hey, I'm the successful girl in her hot girl summer era, but really I would take any below average man that left skid marks in his pants.
Hey, I was your high school bully, but then I gained 30 pounds and didn't make the NBA. And now I actually think you're hella cute. You are. Perfect date with me. We're gonna go out for ramen, then back to my mom's place for cuddles. If you don't respond to me, I'm gonna call you a stupid you b****.
The doctor said I needed the sea air to get better.
What do you have?
ADHD. I love your shirt, by the way. Where'd you get it? Medicine. Oh!
Well, don't throw pebbles. Are you sick?
No, I just did poppers and they made me a little cold. Ew. Ah. That's a gay family. Even on the we accept gay family. Amen.
Do you have pretzels?
It's so peaceful here.
Next time you hear a boomer complain about how millennials and Gen Z could afford houses if they would just work harder, remember that in the 17th century when Europeans started canoodling around the high seas and discovered that scurvy was going to be a problem, they noticed that the common sailors tended to get scurvy more than the officers did, and they decided that since the common sailor tends to be poorer and since poor people are lazy de facto, that laziness causes scurvy, and then they gave the 6 sailors extra work to do to cure their scurvy. It did not cure their scurvy, and in actuality the officers could just afford to bring private stores of food aboard, and so they had more reliable access to vitamin C. Anyway, power, wealth, and privilege encourage people to think the worst of the morality and personhood of people who have less.
This is the most important mission you'll ever have. There's a group building free housing in Madagascar. We're not gonna do it for ourselves. We're doing it for the people back at home working at oil companies. We did it, boys. We permanently contaminated a natural water resource. Pat on the back. Kowalski? He's our best man. Just last week he burned down a house trying to free some hostages who didn't exist. Now, do you even think those people know about privatizing public land? Honestly, sir, we just did it for fun. We're gonna need $45 billion. It's that militia we trained and gave all those weapons to. Repeat after me, men. An election cannot be free if we do not control it. It's not as simple as hanging it up. These people believe in multiple gods. When you're out there, I want you to think about who's gonna take care of you when you get back home. Honestly, it will not be the United States government. Mr. President, there's one less public school in Yemen. You've got a parade to attend.
Okay, it's time to take your meds. Miss Martha, it's time to take your meds. I'm not taking them. No, I refuse. I refuse. Yeah, I know it's weird, but it's the only thing that will get her to take her meds. Yeah, I am not doing that. It's exactly what I said, but here we are. Girl dinner, girl dinner, girl dinner, oh, girl dinner. Thank you.
I eat a bagel every morning. Okay, I know what these guys taste like. Recently, I've been like, hey, let me try something different because surely this can't be good for me. It's been years. So I bought the Better Bagel from Whole Foods, the one that's like 1 zillion grams of protein, 1 trillion grams of fiber, and $1 bajillion. But before I took out a loan to buy them, I looked up reviews and everyone was like, yeah, it tastes like a generic bagel. I ate the whole thing because I didn't want to waste it. Hey, that was bad. I got the everything bagels and I had it with cream cheese. Usually that makes my heart skip a beat. That just stopped my heart dead in its tracks. Anybody that left a review and then said they were good, I have 3. If you want them, it is $1 million though that you have to give me for them, okay?
I just saw this TikTok where the girl was saying she thinks she's born in the wrong generation because all the other kids in college, all they want to do is like get drunk and party and hook up, and she wants like an older type of love. And I didn't have the heart to tell her that getting drunk and acting slutty, genuinely like the oldest tradition known to man. We have been doing it since the dawn of time. Like, do you know what was going down in ancient Egypt? In the Greco-Roman Empire, in Viking times, in any royal court during the 1500s, in the 20s, the 60s, the 70s, we're like prudes compared to most of human history. Like, the second humans figured out how to turn a potato into vodka, how to make grapes into wine, we have been getting drunk and hitting up our sneaky links. This is not a modern thing. This is a time-honored ancient tradition.
Dude, I was just in your bathroom. What the heck is this? Dude, you have to knock before you enter the man cave. I could have been doing anything. Okay, but you didn't answer my question. What is this? That is a bro dude jock wipe. It's for wiping your ass. Wiping your ass? Like a chick? What? No. Dude, you obviously don't know what these are. These aren't those girly ass wipes. These are bro dude jock wipes. They're for guys and guys only. Wait, dude, are you telling me I can clean my ass now as a dude? That's cool. That's because they are cool, and they're not for chicks.
Listen here, brothers. The bro dude jock wipe is not for your mama's ass. It's not for your sister's ass either. It's for your ass. Now you can wipe your ass and not feel like a little bitch with bro dude jock wipes for guys and guys only.
This is actually huge breaking space news. The most powerful telescope in space, JWST, just observed an exoplanet about 8 times bigger than Earth and about 120 light years away, and it detected possible signs of life. Possible. This is the planet. It's called K2-18b, and scientists think that it might be completely covered in an ocean. Well, JWST was looking at its atmosphere, and it picked up a possible detection of a molecule called dimethyl sulfide, or DMS. This is suspicious and weird because on Earth, DMS is only produced by life, specifically phytoplankton in marine environments. Marine environments. But the amount of DMS that JWST thinks it detected is small, so it needs to be double, triple checked to be confirmed. And even if it does get confirmed, this is a totally different planet than Earth, so it might have some process that we don't know about that doesn't require life but creates DMS. So even if it's confirmed, it doesn't mean that there is life on this planet. But this is huge news, and it could be the first step in detecting life on another planet. And it's not even in our solar system. I did not see that coming.
Did you know that Mormons are some of the most sought-after recruits for the FBI and CIA?
So that's super true. Not only are Mormons overrepresented in the three-letter organizations like the FBI and the CIA, but they are also a target to be recruited for them. That's the ideal candidate is a Mormon. And it's not because of some weird cabal or some greater theory that the LDS Church is controlling the government. The answer is simultaneously more sinister, but also a lot more simple. The fact is that the Mormon faith, or the faith of the LDS Church, is one of white nationalism. What Jerusalem is to Muslims, Jews, and Christians all around the world is what the U.S. is to Mormons. They believe that America is the Holy Land, and that its inception of Israelites in a submarine after Jesus was resurrected, white Israelites, by the way. This is a whole other tangent, but basically your skin color corresponds to how evil your ancestors were. So if you were black or Native American, better luck next time having better ancestors, I guess. It's also why, to this day, 60% of Mormons are against interracial marriage. Anyway, that tangent aside, they make great agents because they will never, ever question an order that comes from the U.S. government because they think its founding is literally just. It's proper. It is holy. It means that they think that America's government in its current existence is in itself a holy institution, whether they realize it or not, because they are taught that the goal of America is the goal of the Mormon Church. And I'm not saying Joseph Smith intended this. I think he was a lot more simple-minded. He was just a con man. He wanted a lot of influence, a lot of money, and a lot of 14-year-olds to marry. But the LDS Church today definitely is aware of its role, and it definitely leans into it, and that's why it's so wealthy, 5 times the amount of the Vatican. And it's why they're one of the largest private landowners, not just in the U.S., but on Earth. And it's why Mormons alone spend so much time on missions compared to other Christians, because they're not just trying to convert them, they're converting them and leading them to America, the promised land. The melting pot was originally a racist term used to coin after melting away people's foreign features, either physical or cultural. And this is a great example of what they meant. Bringing people in, converting them, breeding out their impurities. The end.
It's become a very common thing for young people on the internet nowadays to say, I'm not a liberal, I'm a leftist. And I'm very much one of those people. I do not say I am a liberal, I say I am a leftist. The flavors of leftism are wide and varied because that's where the marketplace of ideas actually exists. But I said this to a friend the other day who isn't very politically aware, and he just looked at me confused and he said, I don't understand what the difference is. And I told him that I believe that the key difference is that a leftist is somebody who forms a lot of their political beliefs around a thing called structural critique. I use the analogy of a board game, right? And this friend of mine really enjoys board games, so I tried to make it very simple for him. And I said, imagine that we are playing a game with millions of people, and it is one board game of Monopoly. Now, in this giant board game with millions of players, there are some players who are doing infinitely better. There's many players who have absolutely no money left but are being forced to sit at the table and just watch the other, 5 out of a million players actually play the game. And a conservative-minded person might look at this situation and say, well, at least we have a board game to play. A more liberal-minded person would look at the situation and say, why can't we play the game in a way where everyone can have fun, not just the 5 people who are winning right now? And a leftist looks at the board game and says, why can't we just play a different board game? Monopoly sucks. And the conservative would respond, oh no, but think of the other board game tables that played games that weren't Monopoly. They didn't have much fun. Their players were miserable. Yes, there are players miserable at this table right now. We don't want to play this board game anymore. Name one game table that's played a game that wasn't Monopoly where everyone had fun. Once again, the people at this table are not enjoying this board game, why are you so concerned with the other board games? This game is not fun for us. To be a leftist, you have to be able to look around the table at all million people and recognize that the reason that the majority of them are miserable is because the game you are playing has rules and systems in place to ensure that not everybody can have fun, that only a few people get to exist at the top and win, while everybody else just kind of has to sit around and watch them play the game out.
Horchata isn't Mexican. It's North African.
Oh, wait till you find out tamales are too.
This is going to be a civil discussion. As a disclaimer, any anti-black or anti-indigenous comments will be removed and you will be blocked, okay? So let's talk about corn. Mesoamericans began the process of domesticating corn roughly around 9,000 years ago in what is now the Valley of Southern Mexico. This process began with a wild grass native to Mesoamerica known as teosinte. Teosinte, although utilized for food and still run today, had a small yield and really tough kernels. So they began selecting specific teosinte to evolve into varieties that would ensure higher yields and remove that tough exterior that was surrounding the kernels. Interesting to note that corn was fully domesticated in various regions around the Americas. Recent studies show that independent domestication of the crop emerged throughout South America from a partially domesticated variety of teosinte that came from Mesoamerica. Around this time, we get tamales. Tamales originates in Mesoamerica between 8,000 to 5,000 BC. In fact, one of, if not the oldest depictions we have of tamales comes from the mural of San Bartolo in Petén, Guatemala, carbon dated to 100 BC. Tamales were filled with whatever was available in one's region, such as turkey, rabbit, amphibians, fruits, and vegetables. Soon, various types of tamales spread throughout the Americas, including the Caribbean. So how did Africa get corn? Well, when Christopher Columbus erroneously landed in the Caribbean, the process began known as the Columbian Exchange. Many would argue, and I am inclined to agree, that this was not an even nor oftentimes consensual exchange. However, as a part of this process, there are many different crops that originated in Africa that came to the Americas, such as bananas, watermelons, yams, rice, coffee, and so on. In turn, crops such as cassava, cacao, potatoes, tomatoes, corn, and such were introduced to Africa. We begin seeing references to corn along the western coast of Africa in the 16th century. At the time, millet and sorghum was Africa's most important crops. Corn, while grown widely along the coast once introduced, didn't quite take over Africa's main crops until around the 18th century and gave heavy momentum around the 19th century. Genki is a fermented dough-based African dish whose ingredients and name varies by region. The introduction of corn to Africa by European traders later led to a widespread use of maize-based genki. Not to say that crops from Africa had no influence on various versions of tamales in the Americas. We can see the use of plantains in dishes like pasteles, an indigenous dish of the Taíno. We can see banana leaves used to wrap tamales in various regions such as the Yucatan. We can acknowledge and celebrate each other's contributions without erasing each other's history.
The top 1% isn't even in here. Are you ready to add them in? Baba Booey! The people getting rich without doing work are the 1%, and this is a deep dive about it because there is so much misplaced blame on welfare. So pretend with me that you just inherited loads of money. $1.7 million is the average inheritance for a child of 1% parents, and we're going to be that child today. And we do not want to hold any job whatsoever. We don't want to start or be involved in running a business, but we do want to live in luxury, and we want to take our inheritance and make it into a fortune. Here's how. We use our investment calculator on the World Wide Web to put our $1.7 million into the stock market. Don't touch it for 40 years. Count on a 10% return, and we're not giving any more money because we're not doing any more work. Now, the market goes up, it goes down, but over 40-year span, you can count on a 10% return on average. All right, here we go. We're going to make a fortune. Let's look right here, and fortune. 1.7 million in, nearly 77 million out. Crazy, right? Crazy. Let's do $1 million in over 1 year with a 10% return and nothing contributed. Here you go. Ready? There's your magic. You get your million back, plus you get $100,000 extra, in other words, 10%. And all you have to do is not shit. Nothing at all. Except inherit money and multiply it with other people's labor. What was that? Other people's labor. Yeah, money doesn't grow on trees. Somebody has to work to make it, and that someone is the worker at the company whose stock you own. But they don't get the money that their work creates. They get the lowest wage that a company can get away with paying them, and the rest goes to shareholders. And that's the whole game. That's what all this is. The lower wages the company pays, the more money's left over for profit, the better their numbers look for Wall Street, the more valuable their stock is. And there you go. It's a free money printing machine for the already rich that is powered by people who are working longer hours for crap pay. Story of America right now. But wait. There's more. The super rich are super rich. There are multiple individuals out here with hundreds of billions of dollars. We were playing around with less than 2 million one time. The average billionaire is hauling in $14 million a day. So let's get back to welfare and look at how much we spend on that compared to the wealth gains of the 1% in 2021. Here's a chart. $30.3 billion is what we spend for cash payments on welfare, direct assistance. It's called temporary assistance to needy families. Right here it is, and it is housed under SNAP, aka food stamps. Let's add SNAP in. Bam, there it is. This is what we spend on SNAP, $113.8 billion. And SNAP also includes every dime that we spend on farm subsidies. Now watch this. The 1% gained $6.5 trillion of new wealth in 2021 thanks to everything that we have talked about so far. You ready for this? Bam, there it is. Do you see how those bars disappeared? Everything we spend on welfare. Do you see that? Watch the bars again. Huh? The gains of the 1% have dwarfed everything we spend on welfare and farm subsidies. And keep in mind, most of these gains right here are not from running a business. They're from holding stock that entitles you to the wealth that other people work to create. Now watch right here, the entire federal budget. You want to know how that looks on this graph? It looks like this. Do you know what this means? It means that the gains of the 1%, a handful of people, almost eclipse the entire federal budget. Everything we spend money on, defense, welfare, farm subsidies, Medicare, Social Security, they're this close. They're almost the whole federal government. And oh yeah, making money this way right here, making money this way is called capital gains, and the rich made it so that capital gains are taxed at half the rate that your wages are, when they're taxed at all, because super rich people are excellent at evading taxes and sticking you with the bill. They try to say that people at the bottom are dragging us down, but the real theft is on top, because if their gains were your wages, you watching this video would be so much richer. This is why, and this is one of my favorites, the wealth distribution in the United States, imagine it in your head. It looks like this. Here it is, pretty bad as it is, right? But you know what's funny about this graph is that it stops at the 99%. The top 1% isn't even in here. Are you ready to add them in? Baba booey. Look at this. Look at this graph. Here it is. You're looking at that and you're like, oh my God. And then wait for the 1%. Oh crap. The 99% are down here. You can't even see them. And everybody else is not even on the scale. All of our money is at the very top. All of it. There is no distribution. Can you imagine what they're doing with it? How they build a media network that makes everybody scared of crime and mad at poor people instead of this? How they break all kinds of laws that would land you in jail? How they bust unions so an entire class of people never gets the power to do anything about this? How they buy off government and keep lackeys in there who are dying on live TV